on our 5 pillars, and then we're going to spend a little bit of time just recapping. This is the idea of ensuring that data benefits all. And this is something that came out of our very first Global Internet Hub strategy meeting a couple of years ago. We got a grant from Go Virginia. We put together about 70 people across all different walks, from the chambers to universities to economic development. We had the 4 branches of the military. We had small businesses and some big Fortune 500 companies all working in cities and counties, all working together over the course of a year to put together our first plan. And we ended up hiring some consultants like Vinay and Telegeography. And in putting that plan together, we had one college president stand up and say, we can't just do this for the sake of the few. We got to make sure everybody benefits. And so we were really stumped by that. Like, how do we ensure this? And then if you ever wonder about the value of going on a chamber leadership trip to another city, don't ever question it. There are great ideas out there, and we went on one of those trips, and in Kansas City, we met PCs for People. And we came running home after watching this first-class computer refurbishment organization that was transforming so many lives, and we called up Casey Sorensen and said, please come visit us. We would like you to be here. And his answer was, you're too small. And I went, too small? And he said, yeah, you're just Richmond. You're like 1 million people. And I went, oh, wrong website. We're like 3 million people. Look at how big Hampton Roads and Richmond are together. And that's when Casey said, I'm kind of flirting with Dallas right now and Phoenix. They're going to be my expansion markets. I said, just come here. So he came here, and all the chambers went into action. And we had meetings. It was 5 different chambers, and we had all these stops. And we brought in all of our friends, and Casey Sorensen, the CEO and founder of PCs for People, shared what he was about and mentioned he needed a little bit of money to get started. And we said, no problem. And we got him the money, and he came here a year ago and said, we're coming to the Hampton Roads and Richmond mega region. And now he's landed, and we're going to get an update from Casey. Everybody, help me welcome Casey first.
Thank you, John. Love the story and appreciate the warm welcome. And also acknowledging this being Pillar 5 is pretty cool. As we talk about technology all day long here, about 92% of jobs require digital skills. And for us, we take those skills for granted, using ChatGPT, having our phones in our pockets, getting annoyed having to write emails. It's easy to forget about a segment of our society that doesn't have that same opportunity. About 58% of the families coming to our program are unemployed, mainly because they don't have digital skills and digital access. So again, I greatly appreciate the warm welcome and being able to be here today and give an update on what we've done over the last year. So as John said, my name is Casey Sorensen, CEO at PCs for People. And do we have an advancer? And as John said, last year we came to talk about digital inclusion and the need across the region. And we found both that need as well as funding to allow us to expand. So a big thank you to the companies Meta, Dominium Energy, and Dragonfly, and foundations like Cameron, Mary Morton Parsons, Birdsong Literacy, Barrington Family Foundation for making the contributions that made it possible for PCs for People to expand to the region. 1 year ago, we announced that expansion, and we've been busy over the last year making that a reality. In early 2025, we purchased our long-term home in Hampton. It's a 31,000 square foot former grocery store. We began renovations to turn it into our digital inclusion hub, and so that's supporting IT recycling, secure data sanitization, refurbishment, computer repair, low-cost internet, and digital skills training. This is our anchor for the region to serve the entire region's digital inclusion needs. In March, renovations started. We hosted a hard hat tour to give an early access peek to the space. And as you can see at the picture on the left, we had 4 walls, a roof, and a whole lot of work ahead of us. And turns out it needed a new roof too. So the event helped the supporters see the scale of the work underway and how the support received was turning this empty building into a digital inclusion hub. So we began work to transform the facility with a 3-phase project. Phase 1 being the warehouse, which is now complete for IT recycling pickups. Phase 2 is the community spaces, retail and classroom spaces, which are nearing completion. If you know anyone at the city that can finalize permits quickly, let us know. Phase 3 is waiting on those permits, and that's the ribbon cutting, so we can open to the community, distribute computers, and start our digital inclusion classes. A little bit about the transformation. So those empty 4 walls on the left. On the right-hand side is current state as of yesterday. So those 4 walls have been transformed into the hub for digital inclusion. What you see there is if businesses are leveraging our secure recycling for pickups, certified data sanitization and recycling, the tech enters the area with the 4 gaylords. If computers are new enough for reuse, they go onto the racks in the background. If they're too old, which is about 7 years old or older, hard drives are pulled on the workbenches there, and any e-waste is sorted into 32 commodity categories. And that's one way we can fund the program. If you've looked at a chart of gold, you can look it up now, it's at an all-time high. So there's a little bit of gold in electronics that gets sorted out to those 32 categories and can help fund what we do. E-waste is also the fastest growing waste stream in the world right now. So this facility you see will process over 1 million pounds of e-waste per year right here in Hampton. WAIT also unlocks workforce development opportunities. So we're setting up internship programs with the local city and other local nonprofits, which will begin next year. With the warehouse completed, earlier this year we launched free IT recycling pickups across the region. So businesses get that secure certified data sanitization, and their retired equipment becomes the supply that powers access for families across the region. A few of the logos from recent pickups are included, so thank you for your partnerships. Our refurbishment line is also active now, and at scale, this hub can produce 37,500 refurbished devices per year. That's the engine behind Pillar 5 of the Global Internet Hub vision, ensuring access to modern devices, digital skills, and economic opportunity for everyone in the region. Retail space is nearly ready. This is the front door for digital inclusion, a place where families can visit and get affordable computers, low-cost internet, hands-on digital inclusion help. In our other markets, retail supports 30 to 100 families every day. And that hands-on help is also a big piece of our model. A lot of us have people that can help us with technology. If it breaks, we can afford to get it fixed. But we do warranties and $25 repairs. So one of the common questions we get from people is, my computer broke 2 years ago, and I couldn't afford to repair it. Can I get one of your computers? And we say yes, but you can also bring your computer in, $25 will repair it for you. So the idea is to get and keep working technology in homes. As I mentioned to start, 92% of jobs today require digital skills, but there's a segment of our society that's being left behind. This is the classroom space that will offer free North Star training and community digital literacy classes. It's where job seekers, seniors, and students can build the digital skills they need to be part of our workforce. And trust is one of the most important things in launching a new community, especially in digital inclusion. As renovations have progressed, we've kept our door open and the community has walked in and asked, what is being built here? And we've given those answers. The community says they're excited to have this resource in their community. Many families said they'll be back to take advantage of the training and take home a computer. Even during construction, our mission has continued. We've already distributed more than 7,000 computers across the state of Virginia, and 900 since renovations have began. We've done this through partners like Cox at community distribution events and other nonprofits. Across the region, there's still 180,000 residents without a computer at home. This gap shows up in people's ability to start businesses, get jobs, and move forward. If you take away one thing today, It should be the power of opportunity and the power of access. And I wanted to share Tashana's story to reinforce that. She had a job as a CDL driver, but her dream was to be an entrepreneur. The barrier to a dream was a computer. And as a single mom, she never had the chance to own a computer at home or build the digital skills needed to launch a business. Money and time was tight, and she wasn't sure what to do, but she decided to take a digital literacy class from us, and she got a laptop. She came back later and reported that she leveraged her laptop and her freight industry knowledge and her new computer to launch a dispatch company. And she's now at home with her family running that business instead of out on the road with her CDL. And so that shows the power of just having access, what someone can do with that. And this is why the Hampton Hub matters. It gives people like Tashana the tools they need to participate fully in our digital economy, and your company can help close this gap. So if you have IT recycling, we're a little bit like the trash people for technology. Every company needs it. Or if you want to volunteer with us, or connect with us, a nonprofit or school or individual that needs a computer in the community. Together we can scale this to 37,500 computers and close the digital divide in the region by 2035. Thank you. Income is the only criteria, so 200% federal poverty or 60% AMI, which is rough estimate 45,000 for a family of 4.
Casey, I know a little bit about your program. When we were in Kansas City, we learned this. We were saying, how do you measure the impact? It's hard for nonprofits to do that, and you said, I think you said something like, every computer that we put in somebody's hands has a serial number that we track, and that we call them 9 months to a year later, and one of our questions is about income, and you find the average goes up by 15%?
Yep, every pickup we do from a business, there's a unique lot number, and every computer gets a unique ID, and every recipient, we verify their eligibility and ask them a base set of questions. How many kids are in your home? Are you employed? What's your income? And we use that to give an impact report back to that business. So by recycling with us, we can say that the average recipient was a family of 3, you helped 400 kids get a computer, the average income was this. And then the unique thing that we do, we used to have one point in time, but we also have an internet program, runs on the T-Mobile network, and T-Mobile service is actually pretty good in town. Mm-hmm. In that picture, there's a T-Mobile tower right behind our building, so I get a 600 meg speed test in the parking lot. That program requires that we collect that data point every year. Yep. So we started to see over time what happens, what changes by having this access. And income goes up by 15% in the first year after getting a computer and internet service. Yep. So if you haven't noticed, I like numbers. Every 5,000 connections, that's an $8 million increase in household income for the people who need it most.
And Martin, your question, like half the computers that you get, you can refurbish. The other half you can recycle, and that's a little revenue stream for you. So you don't have to worry about the state of the computer you donate. But the ones you can refurbish, I think you put like the latest Microsoft Office and operating system.
Yep, we wipe all the data clean, and then we're what's called a Microsoft Authorized Refurbisher. So there's a new copy of Windows 11 and supporting software installed.
Right. And then people get put into the training program for free, and then there's a 1-800 number in 5 languages for free if you get stuck.
Correct.
So how do I sign up?
Go online or come to our store.
Okay. Well, this is a terrific program that is at play in other markets, and Casey has said we have shaved 2 years off his model by coming here and starting off with all of our support at the top. So kudos to all of you guys and to the chambers for setting up the tours. And now you're just getting ready to open. So you got a truck, you got a building, and now you just need more of us to say, how can we help you?
Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah.
Casey, thank you very much. George Birdsong mentioned the relationship with Birdsong and EdLogix with PCs for People. Could you chat a little bit about how we're working together to get health literacy embedded on the laptops that you give away?
Absolutely. Yeah, so we're partnering to put the health literacy platform on the desktop. So when someone takes home their laptop or gets a desktop computer, it's one of the icons they'll see on the background. So they're able to open up the platform, create a free account, and access the gaming resources for health literacy. One of the most common things that we get from businesses when we start talking is they say, you're a nonprofit. You know, we donate our clothes and toys to Goodwill as a nonprofit, but our IT assets, can we trust that you can do that? And we do recycle for 7,000 companies across the US right now. We're what's called NAID certified. So it's a third party that audits us to make sure all data is taken care of. There's HIPAA compliant receipts that come back with all the serial numbers. We're trusted by about 14 Fortune 500s. So we have the processes down to be able to take care of the data, make sure it's responsibly taken care of, receipts are provided, and then those assets can help the community.
Do you take other equipment other than laptops, like monitors?
Everything. So we're a one-stop source. So we don't want a business to say, here's all of our good stuff, now we have to figure out all the rest. We'll take all of the printers and cables and cords and switches, absolutely everything, and the good stuff. Yeah, at no cost. So free pickup, free data wiping, free recycling, and it helps the community. So try to create a win-win-win.
All right,
Thank you.
okay. Well, where do we go from here? This is going to be a short session, but I want to